This game is so much better than Colonial Marines. Yeah, so is jamming attack under my fingernail. What's your point? Hey everyone, as always Jarek here, and I am pleasantly surprised. The trailers did not exactly do this game justice. In fact, it had almost no marketing campaign at all. I totally forgot it was coming out until a few days before launch. And what they did show just made it look like a mediocre co-op shooter that I would play once and then totally forget about. To be honest, my first response when I saw it was just, why is this in third person? Why is this not in first person? And that's not because I like first person more, that's because for an Aliens game, which is supposed to be slightly horror-based and claustrophobic, first person just makes more sense. At the time, people were speculating this is just because they wanted people to see their cosmetics they would buy through microtransactions, but now that the game is out, there isn't any microtransactions, so I really don't know why they did this. That's not to say that the game is bad, it's definitely not, it's just a little confusing. Regardless, I'm still surprised by how decent this game is. Let's start with the graphics. The thing that surprised me the most was just how much it respected the Aliens IP. This looks and sounds like Aliens. There is an absurd level of detail in the environments, the guns sound like guns that you would hear in an Aliens movie, and the music sounds like music you would hear in an Aliens movie as well.
Glad you gave me that pistol.
How this game is so respectful to the Aliens franchise, even small details like say the ammo counter on your gun, works for the other players in your lobby. This may not seem like a big thing, but getting something like that to work can also cause desync, so the fact that they decided to put extra effort to make sure it is that truthful to the actual Aliens franchise gains a lot of respect from me. The actual graphics themselves don't exactly look like a 2021 AAA title, but this is a AA title, and the best way I can describe it is that it kind of looks like a AAA title from the Xbox One PS4 generation. And that's certainly not a bad thing. This game is $40, so I didn't expect this much. And even though it's not technically up to par with what we have in 2021, again, there's just so much detail and all of these environments seem so familiar that I couldn't help but stop and take it in every once in a while. A part of my brain tingles when I see a friend running down an aliens-infested corridor spraying a flamethrower. Again, nothing seems out of place, it doesn't seem like unnecessary fan service, it just fits Aliens. Oh, also I'm going to be doing a giveaway for the next like 5 videos or so. I'm going to be giving away keys for the game Dread Templar. If you want to enter this giveaway, all you have to do is like, comment, favorite, and subscribe. It doesn't even have to be about the giveaway. As long as you comment, I'll see it. And then I'll reply to the winner and send you your key through Discord or Twitter, whatever is easiest for you. But enough praising this game for now, because we got to talk about the story. And I honestly could not tell you what the hell happened. Most of this is because it's a co-op horde shooter, and a lot of the dialogue takes place while you're shooting at enemies, while you're in a call, playing with your friends, and it's just very hard to listen to the dialogue. But that's kind of how the whole story is told. There is one cinematic at the beginning of the game, but that's it. All other details you get in the game will either be dialogue while you're trying to shoot things, or just dialogue trees while you're sitting at the base. There's also no lip syncing or any facial expressions at all while this is going on. In fact, the whole game has almost no facial expressions, which is a little odd. Little things like this you kind of expect from a AA game though. Again, this is $40 and not $60. With that said, I didn't care about any of these dialogue trees. I just clicked through as fast as possible to get to the next mission. If you were in this spot, this is your base, and you most likely are just changing your guns and your gear and upgrading stuff. Like, that's the only reason you actually want to go to this place, not to talk to the NPCs. I'm happy it's there, but chances are if you play this game, you won't pay attention to the story and you'll have no idea what's going on. In a way, that's kind of a good thing because nothing popped out at me as being weird and out of place for Aliens. Like, the voice acting isn't bad, for example, and all the characters seem like they would fit in an Aliens movie. Okay, let's go to the gameplay. And it is not revolutionary at all, but there's just enough depth to keep you coming back. The campaign is split into 4 different chapters, with each chapter having 3 levels. These levels are very linear levels. You go forward, have to defend something for a little while, you go forward again, have to defend something for a little while, rinse and repeat until the level is over. Depending on how much you're messing around, each one of these chapters will take you about 4 hours, so the game is roughly 7 to 8 hours long just for the campaign. And once you do beat the campaign, you unlock the Horde mode. This Horde mode is not really much to talk about. As of right now, there's only 1 level, which is a little disappointing. It's nice that it's there. It is an easy way to gain experience, but I mean, it's a horde mode. There's not much more to say. Now, the structure seems like the game could be incredibly repetitive, and in a way it is. However, the thing that kept the game interesting is A, your upgrade system, and B, the pacing of the campaign. From the beginning till the end, the campaign is going to consistently give you new enemies. You will go from fighting aliens in one chapter to fighting synthetics in another chapter to fighting Prometheans? I forget the actual name of these enemies, but you fight them in these chapters, and then the aliens get bigger and badder for the last chapter. And there's still new alien enemies being introduced to you on this final chapter. So this pacing kept the game from feeling too repetitive for me. I'm perfectly fine with the format being repetitive if the combat is changed by new enemies and new equipment. It's not a technically impressive game, it's just a pretty game that is fun to mindlessly play with your friends.
What the heck? I got downed immediately. What the heck?
What just happened?
Jarek, Jarek. Jarek, that was my hell. Jarek. Jarek, I don't. Jarek, you piece of.
Just don't be expecting horror. This game is a horde shooter first and foremost, so it's almost all action. The closest you get to it is an enemy that pounces on you, which can maybe give you a jump scare if you're jumpy. Kind of said that to begin with because, like, studios have changed so... Oh, hi. Don't, be careful. Fox.
I love those.
Or maybe just play with a friend that's incredibly jumpy for absolutely no reason anyway. What? Fox, what are you shooting at?
I thought something went in my face.
The thing that makes this game just deep enough to keep you coming back is a mixture of the enemy variety and the ability to upgrade all your equipment. There is a class system in this game. There are 4 classes, which is odd because only 3 people can play. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why every game seems to be shifting from 4 players to 3 players nowadays. There should just be 4, damn it. Anyway, the first class is Gunner. This class is interesting, but I can't help but feel that this class exists just for people that want to solo the game. Anyway, this class has 2 abilities. The first one is to throw a grenade, which is on a cooldown, and yeah, that's useful. But the second one is what really shines. The second ability allows you to increase your fire rate and your reload speed, and also all of your teammates' fire rate and reload speed increases around you. This can be very useful for getting rid of the heavier Xenos, but I feel like that's kind of replaced by the second class. Demolisher. A very odd name for a class. I kept calling it Demolition. This class is the class that is supposed to kill everything immediately right away. While the first class, the Gunner class, gets very basic weapons like, say, pulse rifle, shotgun, things you would expect, the second class gets heavy weapons. This means your primary weapon will be a pulse rifle, yes, but the one on your back is either going to be a smart gun, a rocket launcher, a grenade launcher, a flamethrower, something big. And his abilities just output more damage. One of his abilities slams the ground, which will push enemies away from you. At first, I thought this was just a good way to get rid of crowds, but you will get an upgrade that will actually stun the enemies that you knock over. And then on top of this, you can stack dealing extra damage to enemies that are stunned. Combine that with a secondary ability, which is to fire a barrage of missiles, and you can see how this class is made to just kill everything immediately. If a heavy Xeno wanders in, you want this class engaging it. The heavy weapons are definitely the strongest guns in the game as well. The smart gun at times feels borderline OP. It does the usual aimbot tracking that you would expect, but it even does this while you're blind firing. Oh, and yeah, there is a cover system in this game, but it's really only useful against the synthetics. You won't be using it against the aliens. The synthetics themselves are not really that great to fight, gotta be honest. They're a little too bullet spongy, which every aliens game wants to do. I understand why they are, but it just doesn't feel that good. And yes, even with headshots, they're still kind of bullet spongy. I'd also like to take this moment to say that while yes, the pulse rifle and smart gun feel and sound amazing, so do the other guns that you don't see in the movies. They took some liberties creating new weapons, but they look just like something you would see in an Aliens movie. And they also feel incredibly satisfying, especially the shotguns. I think one of my most effective loadouts was when I was just messing around making a double shotgun build. And my primary shotgun was basically an Obres shotgun. Anyway, the next class is Technician. This class can carry a pistol and some sort of a shotgun or SMG. His abilities, though, are what really shine. He has the ability to put down a turret, which has almost no cooldown whatsoever. You're just gonna be slamming this thing down anywhere you go. And it's extra useful with the combination of his second ability, Shock Charges. You can throw 3 of these things down at any time. They stay for a certain period of time, and any Xeno or enemy that walks into it get stunned. The cooldown for them is not very much either, so you can kind of just spam these 2 abilities. On his own, with his own guns, he's not that great for doing damage. He still can take his Xenos on, but it's really the turret and the shock charges that let him stand out. You even have 2 ways to upgrade the turret. The first one is to make this thing fire a heavy bullet, but it's way too slow to actually engage enemies, so I found it just not to be useful at all. The second upgrade is great though. You can turn it into a flamethrower turret. This is almost borderline broken. It's awesome. And then you get the last class, which is Doc. This is, of course, the team's medic. It's a little dubious, because the way the medic heals you is by putting down an item that will heal you within a certain range. How much the medic can heal you depends on a resource he has, and that gets refilled, to a certain extent, when he picks up a medkit. The thing is, using a medkit yourself can fully heal you. I do still feel the medic has its place though. Standing in this field will still slowly heal you, and there's extra added buffs on top of it. For example, gaining extra defense, doing more damage if you're standing in this area. So predictably, the medic is a supportive role. But that's not all. After you beat the campaign, you unlock the Recon class. As you would expect, this class uses DMRs and snipers, but its 2 abilities are a little more support based. The first one is the ability to plop down something that will give ammo to anyone standing nearby. The second ability is to use a radar drone, and this is awesome. It looks just like the movie. How useful it is? It's vaguely useful. I don't think it would be more useful than the other abilities, and I definitely wouldn't pick this up as one of the classes I really wanted to use, but it is cool that it's there. Personally myself, I would swap back and forth between Demolition and Tech. Those are the 2 ones that I really enjoyed the most. And like I said, there are full upgrades that are pretty straightforward. The more you play these classes, the more of these upgrades you unlock. They will make you much more powerful and change how you play the game. This game has that perfect mixture of depth without it being too complicated. It's just a third-person shooter, not an RPG, not an MMO. The whole point is to get back into missions and shoot enemies. So how would I rate this game? Well, it's not bad. It's not Colonial Marines, but it's also not the best thing I've ever played. It's not going to change video gaming forever. It doesn't feel like Doom Eternal to me. I would give this a solid 7.5 out of 10. This is a actual fun game that I want to go back and play. Most of the time when I cover a game, I kind of want to shelve that game and never look at it again, or just am very indifferent towards it. This I actually do want to keep playing. I've already put roughly 11 hours into it, so that's saying a lot. And they did announce there are going to be season passes. I don't really know what this includes. I'm assuming they're going to add more campaign missions. At least I know they're adding more horde levels, because there really needs to be. But as of right now, this is a solid game with more than enough content to justify spending $40. That should sum it all up. I want to give a big thanks to everyone that joined me on Twitch. I streamed for like 6 hours straight one day and 4 hours straight the other day. I really wanted to keep playing this game. My Twitch is twitch.tv/JarekTheGamingDragon. If you subscribe, you get to see my videos ahead of time. And of course, a big thanks goes to all of you for watching this video.